Hey UTV Boondockers. So I've had a lot of questions I've seen out in Facebook groups and forums about asking how do I trailer my machine. So in today's episode we're going to cover just that. We're going to talk about the way I trailer a machine, which has worked out very well. I'm going to show you some neat connections that you can use in a way to secure your machine, and also how to load it, and a little bit about trailering too. So stay tuned, we're going to cover all of that. So first, the trailer setup. I have a general 4. Most 4-seater side-by-sides require a trailer that is at least, say, 14 feet long. That's a good number. This is a 16. I do some other things with my trailer, but what I'm using are these E-Track chock combinations. I'll have a link in the description below where you can get these. I bought them on Amazon. A buddy of mine actually bought them and I really liked them, so I bought a set of my own. These are a little different from what's out there. You can see in the picture up there, this is what they look like when I bought them. Well, this is what it looked like after I've had them for a while. You can see that the paint wore off. They were bright yellow. I didn't necessarily like the color, so I painted them because I also load a tractor on this trailer, and the tractor kind of chews things up. You can see it's a little messed up in there. But another thing that I did with these, the chock style ones, is I put some grip tape on it because you tend to slip when you go over it sometimes when your wheels are muddy, wet, whatever the case may be. Now, ideally, you could strap off to, you know, these things here. There's a lot of ways to do it, but this, in the method I'm going to show you, they basically have like a wheel bonnet that goes around and hooks into these E-Track type connectors, and it goes right around the tire. The ones that I'm using go up to 30-inch tires. I'm sure there's probably larger ones you can use, but these particular ones are limited to about 30 inches of wheel. You can use them for side-by-sides, you can use them for quads, just about anything that has a wheel, lawnmower, whatever the case may be. These are hard bolted in. They're spaced just right, just for my rig. But again, another option is using that E-Track. There's a picture right here, and I'll put a link down to some of them. There's a ton of places. You can get them at big box stores, lots of different places. So anyway, you could put those down and do that style of connector. One other thing to note too is whenever you use the style of straps like these, all these straps right here, when they get wet, they stretch. So remember that, like if it's dry and you've got it nice and tight and you're going down the road and you're wondering, should I tighten these things up? Well, if you run into some water or rain, definitely go and check those things afterward, because they tend to stretch a little bit. That's one little tip I can get you. So the next thing we're going to do here is I'm going to pull the general on, and then we're going to hook these up and show you what they look like. Stay tuned. All right, so here's the strap we're going to use when you buy this kit. I believe it comes with 2 of them. So you'll get those 2 and you'll get 2 straps to go with it. So for 4, you'll need 2 kits. This is basically what you're going to get. A little dusty, but we're going to set them on. It doesn't really matter where you put these, front, back, whatever the case may be. I'm going to hook the back ones in, and then I'm going to show you how to hook the front ones in. All right, so basically the way these hook up, they're going to go in. You can see there's a little release right there. Well, let's put this side in first and then that. So you lift this up, you hook it in right here, slide it over, and go down. And wiggle it back and forth, and when that thing locks, you're good to go. The next step, we're gonna get this around the tire. Sometimes if it's not big enough, open it up all the way, pull out a little bit. I like to get it about centered. Now, when you pull up on here for the first time and get these set up, don't worry if it takes you a couple tries to get centered onto these chocks. Well, at least for me, it's normal. Hopefully it's normal for you too. All right, and then pull that up nice and tight, flip her down, and then crank her down. Boom, and then you're done. That's it. I'm only gonna do 1 for this demo, but you go ahead and put them on all 4, and this thing does not wanna go anywhere. And like I said, if they get wet, they stretch a bit, you just might have to check it. But other than that, I've towed this thing hundreds and hundreds of miles just like this, and it is held like a boss. So let's talk a little bit about placement. So once you get this on the trailer, this is the section. If you're done and you want to move on, that's fine. But when you load your trailer, what you want to do is put the weight, most of the weight, where the rear engine machine like this, you want to get it right over the axle as much as possible. If you're a little behind, that's fine. But if you put a lot of weight on the back side of your trailer, you're going to get sway. You don't want that. And you also don't want to overload the tongue weight too much. You do want tongue weight on your machine or on your truck. or whatever you're pulling with, but just not too much. So there's a happy balance in there. So always try to make sure when you load your machine, try to get the load, the most weight, over top of the axles or as close as possible to the axles. This is where this 16-foot trailer that I have works out very, very well. You know, I could load it up, all the stuff's inside, so most of my weight, you know, would be in this general area here, which is going to be really great. The other thing, you want to make sure when you load up that you always put that pin in on that tongue. If you don't, you hit a bump, that thing can come loose, and it's just no good for anybody. Always hook your safety chains up, crisscross them, hook up your all your lights and everything, test them every time before you go. That's always a good thing. The last thing I'm going to mention to you too that I think is really important is trailer brakes. My other trailer was a single axle with no trailer brakes. I've since upgraded to a dual, which these are two 3,500-pound axles, and they have trailer brakes on both of them. Electric, of course, electric hydraulic, I think. But that helps a ton when you want to slow down, or even if the thing gets a little squirrely on you, you could just, you know, tap your brakes a little bit and it straightens out. It made me, who's not a big fan of trailering, very comfortable. And I can even haul a 4,000-pound tractor with this and it stops, you know, it's steady. It's just really great. I would urge you to spend the money to get something with trailer brakes. Like my wife told me, I went to buy a trailer that wasn't as good, and she said, you spent that much money on a machine and you want to go cheap on a trailer? Well, there you go, right there. Listen to the wives. Buy a better trailer. Plus you get a better trailer. So anyhow, that's where I'll close it. If you have questions or comments, please post them down below. And if this video was helpful for you, please click that like button. Go ahead, take a minute, click it now, and then click subscribe and that little bell so you get notifications when there's new videos. So thanks again. Hope you have a great day.